Hello BookTube. Today for my second video, I'm going to be doing two New Year's themed book tags. I'd originally planned on doing these tags last week, but things did not quite go according to plan, and I was not entirely happy with um, the results. So I had originally intended to go ahead and um, just pass these two tags by, but Steve Donahue on Sunday made his return to BookTube, and he did the second tag that I'll be doing today. So that inspired me to give these two tags another go. So the first tag I will be doing is the Ringing in the New Year book tag, created by Bookmark Chronicles. The second tag I will be doing is the New Year's book tag created by Bookables, which I am using the version in the show notes from Hannah's Books, because that's where I saw the most recent version of this tag, although Steve Donahue also did this tag on Sunday. But I'll be linking both Bookmark Chronicles, Bookables, Hannah's Books, and Steve Donahue in the show notes down below, alongside copies of the prompts for both the Ringing in the New Year book tag and the New Year's book tag. So starting with Ringing in the New Year book tag, let's go. Prompt number 1. Best books or series that you've read in 2023. I'm going to give you my top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Gods and Mortals by Sarah Iles Johnston. This is a collection of Greek myth retellings that are absolutely delightful. I really loved this volume. It is amazing. Coming in at number 4 is Two Houses, Two Kingdoms, A History of France and England, 1100 to 1300 by Catherine Hanley. So this is a history of the late Capetian dynasty, early Plantagenet dynasty, and those two families' relations with each other. And this book is amazing. I really, really loved it, and it really hammered home the fact that I'm starting to develop a sweet tooth for this period of European history. At number 3 is The Last King of America by Andrew Roberts. This is a reappraising biography of King George III that argues that George is not the monster that American mythology paints him as. That George III was, in fact, a very conscientious and active monarch in a very positive sense. And I really, really enjoyed this book. It is amazing. Coming in at number 2 is Young Queens, The Renaissance Women and the Price of Power by Leah Ridman Chang. So this is a group biography of Catherine de' Medici, who was Queen Consort as well as Queen Regent and Queen Mother of France, alongside her daughter, Queen Elizabeth of Valois, who was the third Queen of Philip II of Spain, and Mary, Queen of Scots, who, in addition to being the Queen of Scotland in her own right, was also temporarily the Queen Consort of France as the Queen of Francis II. So the book looks at the relationships between the three women, as well as their relationships with the fourth queen, Elizabeth Tudor, the Queen of England. This book is just amazing. I loved every moment I spent with this book. I just love it. And coming in at number 1 is The Amazing Bismarck's War, The Franco-Prussian War and the Making of Modern Europe by Rachel Crestel. So this is a new history of the Franco-Prussian War that lasted between 1870 and 1871. The Franco-Prussian War saw the cementing of the German Empire under Prussian hegemony and the establishment of the Third Republic of France after the deposition of Emperor Napoleon III of the Second Empire. This book is amazing. It not only looks at the military history of the conflict, but the book also looks at what the war was like for people on the ground, the civilians. And it's just amazing. Yes, definitely my favorite book from 2023. Question number 2. Authors that you've discovered this year and would like to read more from. Rachel Crastle, Leah Redmond Cheng, Catherine Hanley, who I do have 2 of her earlier books, and I will get to them soon. Andrew Roberts, I have his Napoleon biography, and I know he also has at least a Churchill biography as well. I don't know if Sarah Iles Johnson has anything, but definitely looking forward to that as well, and a whole slew of other writers. Prompt number 3. Best book turned movie TV adaptation in 2023 or most anticipated adaptation for 2024. I don't watch movies or television a huge amount, and it also takes me a while to get to things. I've been meaning to get to the new One Piece live action adaptation for months now, and it is looking like the adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho will also take me forever to get to. Prompt number 4. Have your reading habits changed at all this year, and have you gotten into any new genres? So, the one way that my reading has changed this year is the sheer number of manga that I read. I read 65 volumes of manga over the course of 2023, which is definitely unusual for me. I don't know if that will be repeated this year or not. But I think my reading year, on the whole, I think I didn't have 2023 was not a very pleasant reading year, even though the numbers sort of argue against that interpretation. It's just, I don't know, it's just a feeling I had that my reading wasn't as enjoyable last year as it had been in the past few years. But hopefully that will change in 2024. Question number 5. Favorite ship, romantic or platonic, or of the year, or new favorite character? So I don't think I really have a favorite romantic or platonic relationship. But I do have a favorite character, even though I did meet him in 2022, but I read most of his adventures in 2023, and that is Katsuki Bakugo from My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is a manga series inspired by American superhero comics, and Katsuki is the friend rival of the main character, Izuku Midoriya. Katsuki starts My Hero Academia as an incredibly caustic brat of a character. He is thoroughly unpleasant. But as My Hero Academia progresses, as the characters grow and change, Katsuki's change from being a bully to being somebody who would sacrifice himself for his friends. There's a moment in the manga where Bakugo and the other members of Izuku's class have come to find him to bring him back to the school where Katsuki apologizes for what he did to Izuku when they were younger. And it's an amazing scene. And it just, that whole character growth arc is amazingly well done. Prompt number 6. Have you started planning your TBR for 2024? And how many books do you hope to read? So my reading goal for every year is to read about 100 books, roughly 2 books a week. Although I can usually do more than that because I do read slim volumes of poetry and manga, and they don't take as long as other books. And also, given the weekend, depending on the size of the book, I can maybe get a bit more done on the weekends than I can during the rest of the work week. But I always give myself about 100 books. So I have made some plans for my 2024 reading. I want to do, so I have some plans roughly sketched out. I do want to participate more in, well, wait. That's the next question. So let's merge question 6 in with question 7. So question 7 is, will you participate in any reading challenges or readathon events? Yes. I'm going to be doing Historathon for 2024. I'm also going to be doing Faulkner in August. See here. I'll be participating here and there in the Steve Dapirius Donahue Book Club. Depending on the books that interest me. And there are other reading events and readathons that I will be participating in. For sure right now, March of the Mammoths, and others as they come up. Other reading plans, I have a few personal reading projects I would like to do. There's a poetry project I would like to do in April. I would like to try to read all of Alan Hollinghurst's novels for hopefully a final time that I know, okay, I either like this author or like some of his work, or I don't, and just finally settle that question I have. I would also like to read all of Magic at the Labyrinth of Magic. I have only one volume left to go to pick up before I can do that. And I would also like to read all of Naruto. I've up to volume 18, and I'm slowly collecting my way through the rest of the series. I would like to read that series as well, and probably do some rereading and get to a bunch of history books as well. Hopefully I don't pile too much on myself and end up crashing and burning like I have some time in some months. But my February reading plan is already looking like it's going to be crowded. I may have to start pruning some stuff from that. Question number 8. Any New Year's resolutions or goals, bookish, content related, or otherwise? So for this one, I'll stick to bookish related resolutions because the next tag I'll be doing does have the resolutions focus is non-bookish. So I'll do my bookish resolutions here. So outside of finally reading all of Alan Hollinghurst and Magic at the Labyrinth of Magic and Naruto, I don't know right now if I have any specific, like, concrete reading goals. I would like to add more books to my library. I would like to add more bookcases. I've talked several times already that I would like to replace my desk, which is right here, and put up 2 new bookcases. One that would go right here, and then another one on this wall over here. And I'm also thinking about slowly whittling down my science fiction and fantasy collection to just one bookcase. And the bookcase that would then be free, I would replace it with a newer one or two newer ones that will be able to get a few more books compared to what I have now, which is a shoddily constructed gift that my brother built for me a few years ago. So yeah, that was the ringing in the New Year book tag. Next up will be the New Year's book tag. So for question number 1 of the New Year's book tag, how many books do you plan to read in 2024? Again, around 100, but we shall see. It probably will be more, but I don't know. Question number 2. Name some books that you didn't get to in 2023 but want to make a priority in 2024. So I have 5 books, all of which came out in 2023 that I did not get to. First up is The Middle Kingdoms by Martin Ratty. So this is a history of Central and Eastern and Southern Europe that came out early last year that I never got to, and I really would like to. I'm planning on reading it for my Historathon readings. I think it's in the second category. The Lion House by Christopher Beleg is a biography of Suleiman the Magnificent that I never got around to. Would like to correct that. I also would like to read The Chile Project, the story of the Chicago Boys and the downfall of neoliberalism by Sebastian Edwards. I'm planning on tackling The Soviet Century by Karl Schlogel for March of the Mammoth. And I am really contemplating doing a double mammoth in March and also tackling The New Roman Empire by Anthony Caldelas. Whether or not I do remains to be seen, because last year my plan was reading 4 mammoths in March, and I think I ended up bailing on all 4 of them. So, yeah, maybe 2 will work where 4 did not. We shall see. Question number 3. What genre do you want to read more of? Well, right now, I'm leaning a lot more towards poetry. I have been on a poetry buying binge the last few weeks, and I'm planning on doing a personal poetry project in April. I might try to make it into a booktube event, but I don't know, because I don't know necessarily if I want to commit myself to a huge amount of poetry reading and neglecting other reading projects, because I would like to do a second People April, and I would also like to do Aussie April. And I think there might be other reading projects in April, or events and stuff in April, that I don't know yet, or don't quite remember at the moment. I'm also having a bit of a desire for literary fiction that I may or may not indulge in. We shall see. And I'm also, even though I said that for the moment I was done with science fiction and fantasy, that if there's a second, or this would be a third year of February fantasy stories from the bookish Bryants, that I might actually pick up some slim works of fantasy. I don't know. But it all depends, because I very much approach what genres I read by whim. So Whether or not what I'm thinking I'm leaning towards right now is actually what I get to, or even makes a majority or an impressive dent in my reading at the end of the year, I don't know yet. I did not believe I would be reading that much manga last year, and it ended up being an immense amount. So, question number 4. Name some non-book related goals for 2024. I would like to cook more. Particularly, I would like to cook things that are not desserts. I have a major sweet tooth, and a lot of what I make ends up being dessert oriented. Even like this last cooking period, or like grocery buying period, my intention was to make a number of non-dessert dishes, and it ended up being I bought stuff to make a strawberry cake, an easy apple galette, and also stuff to make sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies and banana nut bread. So, yeah. So hopefully I will rein in my sweet tooth and make other kinds of dishes. Wish me luck on that. Question number 5. What's a book you've had forever that you still need to read? Well, if by read we mean finish, complete. There are 2 novels of Alan Hollinghurst that I have had for over 15 years. The Folding Star and The Line of Beauty, that while I have dipped into, I have never finished. I have bailed on them. I think everything else I've had for a very long time, I've gotten to in one way, shape, or form. Question number 6. One word or phrase describing 2024. Dread. 2023, in a lot of ways, was not a very pleasant year for me, and all indications point to 2024 being as bad, if not worse, given the global situation of 2 wars that are likely to be added to the 2024 American presidential elections, which less said about that nightmare, the better. And living in Texas, I dread what this year is going to be. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping my pessimism will pay off with a much nicer year than I'm expecting, but I'm fully expecting this year to be dreadful. So anyway, BookTube, that was the New Year's book tag. So yeah, if you would like to do these 2 tags, consider yourselves tagged. Again, I will leave links to and mentions of Bookmark Chronicles, Bookables, Hannah's Books, and Steve Donahue in the show notes, as well as a list of the 10 books, 12 books I mentioned, and the questions for both tags. So until I see you tomorrow with either a new tag video or forthcoming releases, which I need to work on, which will probably be almost entirely history, because what I've got already is pretty much all history. Or if there's something else I want to talk about, because I do kind of want to talk about One Piece and Four Nights of the Apocalypse. But anyway, BookTube, I'll address that tomorrow. So, or sometime that's later this week. But anyway, that's all I got for now. So until I see you next time, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.